Alright, we're live. Dual stream. Here we go.
Live on Facebook and YouTube.
We should be.
Refreshing YouTube real quick.
Refresh.
All right.
We should be. I know we're up
Looks
on
good.
Facebook. Are we up on YouTube as well? How's the YouTube stream looking?
I see it. Looks good.
All right. Awesome. So.
All right, guys. Well,
go ahead.
Yes. I've been trying to get Saber on for a long time to pick his brain, and I'm really excited to have him here. The market's been absolutely nuts, and he's released and been going like a madman, released some indicators for us. I want to touch on a bunch of stuff because you really called this move from 38.55 all the way up, and then called the top last night. You called us all into voice chat and brought us in and guided us all the way down. You and Cam were kind of our pilots on the crashing plane, so to speak. So I wanted to start with the indicators. You released 2 indicators over the last week, and can you tell us a little bit about them and why you released them?
All right, so I put out the BTFD indicator, which is essentially where I think price action, it's best to really like pick up BTC at its price, right? And this was just BTC BTFD on TradingView, right? And what this one's done is it's picked up some of the absolute best knife catches, right? So when we see these retracements, this indicator has been saying, it's a good buy, right? And I put that one out because people, especially like leverage traders, they see any dip and they're just like, hey, we're just gonna buy this dip, and then price dips lower. And this thing's been valid since February, right? We've seen price come down, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and switch this up real quick. There you go, so you can see more of the screen now. But yeah, so ideally, I put out the BTFD so people realize like a real healthy pullback and where a good entry is, because then we see people like buying a knife here, and then they get liquidated, and so forth. And then the second indicator, which is really interesting, which is the one that pretty much told us that we're coming down to the level that we got to yesterday, but I was firm on coming down to 6,300. I just didn't realize it was going to happen that fast. And I don't think anybody even had a slight idea that we were going to dip down this fast or even dip down to this low. Thank you, Steve.
No, that was a big gap to fill really fast.
Yeah. And, I wish, we knew what our target was. I just wish we had some, I wish we told everybody to have some bids there ready for us. Kevin, make sure to share the new link. I don't know if you got people on YouTube. So yeah, like I built this indicator out, and literally in the description, I said, it should be right here on my screen as well. Make sure it is. So let's just move this over. It says at the time of publishing, XBT is trading at 68.85. Gravity indicator tells us coming to a target at 62.90, right? And we got pretty close to that. And there's a reason, I made this indicator. We actually did a workshop on why we're trading these big gaps over the weekend, and that's why I'm not really FOMOing into a position right now, because it's almost time to wait it out and see which way price is going to go, so we can counter it back to our gravity line. And now we're going up, right? But if we go up too far, we're going to come back to our gravity line. So there's no reason to get in a trade right now. I'm not really going to dive into that just yet.
Well, you were calling shorts for the last couple days.
So yeah,
you called terminal. I think you even called it in another. You were telling everybody, this terminal, we're going down. You were all over this thing for last few days.
So yeah, so I called it terminal. I called it terminal on Tuesday. I said, if you stayed up late and shorted the top, congrats. Just how this is gonna play out. Big picture, first level is 75.39, second level is 70.28, third level is 66.96, the fourth level is 63.04. And you literally rang all those in one candle. I was not expecting that. But there's a reason I've been calling, shorts. I've been calling the top because we witnessed what I refer to as high volume distribution, right? Price was up here. We were at this like 8,200 mark. 83, 82, kissed 84 maybe. And at these highs, there was so much selling pressure on good news that it just looked like distribution, right? TA gave us rising wedges up here, and it was 2 of them. And typically a rising wedge, if it's not terminal, it's gonna have like a big target. And we saw the first one play out 2 target, and the second one, was the end, right? We saw this one. I was like, guys, this is a rising wedge. We're gonna break down. This is terminal. Terminal as in BTC is gonna come down. It's gonna come down a lot, at least 24%. And then there was another rising wedge up here, which, I don't know why people thought it would be different than the first one and why we would change our view on why we think this is terminal. All right, so we see 2 of these bearish formations, and then price breaks down, and people were like, oh, just buy the dip. Oh, just buy the dip. And at this point, we were looking to short. At one point yesterday, when we were still piloting everybody, or before we actually we called everybody in on live stream.
That's the time you called everybody. It was right in there when we broke that second wedge, I think.
No, well, I called everybody. We were still in here when I called everybody in. I was out of the house because I had short from up here. We came down, and I had a post saying this is going to be reflexive. There's a bullish ABCD that's going to do a big drive up, and it was like one of these. See, AB equals CD, right? And we saw this. We came up, and then I saw this channel forming. So I announced a short. I said, guys, short the top of this channel, right? And I think, is it here? Yeah, so this is the actual chart from there. I said, guys, we're gonna enter short over here, and shortly afterwards, this is exactly where I called that short. And we were thinking we were gonna get a bounce down here, but we didn't, right? We just came straight down, and so far down so fast. We knew we were heading down to 6,300. I wish we just had bids there. So that's the one thing we were not expecting. Yeah, man, it's been awesome. It's been an awesome ride, riding it up and then shorting it down. And now we're in this choppy territory where I think we're gonna see my gravity indicator play out again, because we are going into another weekend, right? And as we go into another weekend, wherever this gravity indicator is gonna stop today at 6 p.m. is where price is eventually going to retrace back to. We'll put a link to the gravity. Can you put a link to the gravity indicator in the video description? It's actually, I sent you to it. Just so people can hop in. Just do it on both YouTube and Facebook. And as we see, price literally came back down very close to our gravity indicator. So now, if I go to a live chart and I enable the gravity indicator, it's probably going to stop right at 73.17. So gravity.
For some reason, it won't let me post links during the live stream. So we'll put them in the comment or in the description.
Yeah. So it's this one BTC Gravity indicator by CoinOBS. And it's going to load, right? And now here we go. Gravity indicator still at 71.98. All right, so if we go up, I don't care if we go up to 10 grand, we're gonna short it back down to our gravity indicator. We literally, I made this indicator. It's pretty much giving everyone a foolproof way of trading the weekend price action. I'm not gonna go into details of what makes the gravity indicator. I've actually written articles about this concept. It's what told us to long 38.55 for the big leg up, and it's what told us to short on the way up, all the way back down. So that being said, you know, if somebody is long here, I hope you know like where to profit take, because we're gonna come back to this line, and because we've come back to this line every single time we've deviated from it. Maybe the 240 is gonna give us a clear indication of what's really happening, right? So this was our gravity indicator, price comes back down to it. Gravity indicator, price comes back down to it. Gravity indicator, right? It took a week, price comes back down to it. And ironically, you know, when we started this downtrend, there was a 20% gap that took 4 days to fill, that, you know, was visible here. And I was talking about this and people were very skeptical. Some of my, you know, closest associates were like, there's no way we're coming back down that low. But I mean, here was a 21% move, right? And it took exactly 4 days to fill.
I remember you mentioning that in the server, and I was nervous about that thing filling. You're like, guys, it's 99% accurate.
Yeah, right.
I
was skeptical of my own, you know, of my own doctrine, right? And it was just like, what is going on? Why are we still going up? Well, guess what? It was a bull trap, right? And people are like, what's really fascinating to this space, but I find it really toxic, is like the herd mentality, right? You see crypto Twitter going, oh, we're going to 8,600, oh, we're going to 9K, oh, we're going back to 12K, you know, never.
Yeah, you were sharing that. We were talking about that in the server last night as well. These guys are going to get screwed up.
You know, everybody got liquidated. And then, so there's that whole herd mentality that screws everybody up. You see these people posting these huge, like $1 million BitMEX positions that they bought at 7,900, and they're long on every altcoin on BitMEX, and they're like, are we having fun yet? Well, ironically, that's when I want to short, right? Because the market is so bullish. Not only that, but we had 5 bullish articles come out on this day, right? Like over here, we had the BACT coming out in July. We had the Microsoft building on the Bitcoin blockchain. We had Whole Foods adding Bitcoin payments, and Whole Foods owned by Amazon. And then there was a CNBC article saying that Bitcoin's a hedge against traditional markets. And there's one more, I just can't think of it right now, right? When we have so much bullish news, right, on, which is I was referring to earlier as high volume distribution. We have so much bullish news, and everybody is bullish, and people are over leveraged on their longs, longing tops, you know, buying a breakout and breakout continuing. And we get into these areas right here where we see this breakout and it breaks down, right? And we had this wedge. I'm like, guys, this wedge has a retest. We can reshort up here. Then it did this diamond. There's a diamond here, and it broke down. And this was the bull trap, right? This was the bull trap. I called it terminal here, and I should have expected a bull trap. I really should have. That was my fault for not saying, hey, we're going to see a bull trap. But good thing Lido came in and said, hey, we're going to see a higher high. I was skeptical, but as soon as it wedged, this was a short. You know, so we had a short from here. I closed on this reflexivity, and then I recalled a short over here. So, yeah, herd mentality, pack mentality, bullish news, like all that was, sentiment was so bullish. News was creating this area of distribution. If we see these high volume bars coming in on these breakouts, so we see a bull flag get sold off on these. Let me kind of move this over so you can see the volume bars. So you see these.
So it's kind of the opposite of FOMO, is you get just this bullish news and everybody follows suit.
Yeah, like if you look at this breakout right here, right? I'm gonna kind of dive into these breakouts and show what high volume distribution is. We see this bull flag post, right? And then we see red volume bars, 3 of them in a row, all these dojis, and then we see a knife down. And then we see the same thing happen up here, right? Another failed breakout attempt. What does that let us know? That lets us know that there's a lot of high volume distribution. Everybody's showing BTC, news is bullish, everybody's bullish, right? But somebody's selling a lot of Bitcoin, and you can see them selling them at these highs. This was like a small rising wedge, and then finally it came down. And we saw the same thing happen here at these highs. So we're seeing a lot of distribution here. This one didn't take as much to crash, but this was terminal, man. And people entered short or re-entered short. Cam still has a short open from up here.
That's a really awesome strategy.
Yeah, just like understanding volume and what's really happening, why these breakouts are failing is super critical to to why I called the top at 81, man. That first top was the top.
Everyone's paying attention right now. I look because this is something you really don't hear about. You've been talking about it, so thank you for bringing it up. It's a lesson for me right now.
Yeah, it is what it is. Very few people wanna. Hey, Delilah, what's up, Steven? You got a few people on Facebook. Let me check on YouTube. We got any questions on YouTube?
I'm not seeing any.
Oh, I hope you're not on unlisted, man. Shit, the video is unlisted. Make it public. That sucks. All right. Well, you have any questions, Kev? What else we got?
So, there's been a lot of world politics going on. Could any of that led to the price action we're seeing now, the volatility?
So politically, like, politics have had a big impact.
China,
yeah,
all that stuff.
Absolutely. So, the China, the trade war with China is really becoming a player in this whole BTC rally. And some people are saying this is Tether that's pumping the price, but I don't think it is, right? We've been trying to get this China deal for so long, but now the US has sanctions on Iran, and China is the biggest importer of Iranian oil, right, which is the #1 Iranian export. And the US has oil sanctions and it has banking sanctions on Iran. So, but we know that Iranians are still shipping their tankers. I've got an article that came to me through like the whistleblowers, and these tankers are going out in the open ocean, swapping oil from tanker to tanker and getting it to China. And China's getting money back to Iran, right? So the Iranians have to earn on their oil. It's not, you're not just going to send it to China. But they have banking sanctions, so there's no way for the Chinese to pay the Iranians other than, what are they going to do? Send them gold bars? How feasible is that? Like, what are they going to do? Just send them bags of US dollar? No, that's not how it's working.
Why not send them digital gold?
So I really think BTC is being used to bypass the banking sanctions. And I'm not, I've said that to our VIPs a few weeks ago. Interestingly, like maybe 4 days later, I think it was Senator Sherman, he told Congress, like, we should ban all cryptocurrencies because they can be used to bypass sanctions, banking sanctions. And that's when, I'm not saying he's validating what I'm saying, but I kind of caught on to this because of the timing of the rally, because the intensity of the rally, and because of the players imposed. So I really think what's contributing to this is like geopolitical issues as opposed to just Tether pumping. What's also contributing to the fall and to this major volatility is these books being empty. The reason we came down so hard so fast, we're looking at like tensor charts, which is right here on one of my monitors. It's always there, especially during periods of volatility. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's this monitor. So the books were so empty on the way up, and they were so empty on the way down. So we're going to see a lot of volatility and the lack of liquidity, which is concerning, right? We're just going to make prices swing really volatilely. But if we nail these moves right, we caught some big shorts at one point when we wicked down to 6,300. My short was up 300-400% on 25x, right? And then Cam still has a short. I think he got stopped out now, but he had a short from up here from like 79 I had one from 81 that I closed here. So figuring out when to get in, where to get in, and how to treat this chart right now can make us a lot of money, right? You just can't dance with position. You got to treat them right, especially since we've got like geopolitical issues and countries contributing to these breakouts and the rise of BTC instead of just players. There's also the institutions involved. There's also, you know, these gaps that we're trading. It's going to be interesting. And, you know, currently based on my weekend gravity indicator, it's Friday, and it looks like we got another juicy move down, right? And I mean, it's 100. I don't usually trade these 100-point moves, so I'm not going to trade it until it like really deviates. But I was told, you know, I had a buddy send me a chart saying, hey, this is going to break up to the upside. I'm going to long it. I'm like, dude, like, it's the weekend. There's no reason to long it right now. We know exactly what's going to happen over the next 2 days. I'm just going to wait it out and see where it ends up, like tonight, tomorrow, what the formations are saying, what volume's saying. Because this is definitely like uncertain territory. If you look at this chart, so the trend is still up, right? But we're below this trend line. Not only that, we've got a bear pennant. But back to that earlier 20% gap that I referred to, it happened at the beginning of a downtrend, and the trend remained going down. It pulled up, Bitcoin pulled up 22% over the course of 4 days, or, you know, in one candle after 4 days. But it broke back down. So what we could be seeing is, you know, I'm not going to say the inverse of that, but we're in an uptrend. We pulled back 20%. We can still be in an uptrend. But I'm not going to get in right here, man. Not on margin. You know, I sold quite a bit of BTC up here for fiat. People can hate me for that, but we did the smart thing, calling this thing terminal. You know, if we buy back now, you know, that's 11% increase on our BTC, which is a pretty good trade for in 1 week, right? To make 11% more on your BTC.
Absolutely. So here's a question for you, Cam. I was picking Cam's brain after he was about possibly, like you just said, an inverse CME gap. What are the odds of that actually happening? We could push 20% for another big gap
I really
and still remain bullish.
Sorry, this I just coming in muffled, so ask him to ask me the question via chat. Is it safe to start putting buy orders limit on BTC? Do we need to wait to see if it bottoms out more? I'm interested in continuing accumulating, and if one of my stop orders went through, I have funds freed up for accumulating on lower prices. Do you think BTC.D will now continue up, cause alts down, or put along? So I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of the guys on Facebook's question.
Perfect.
So BTC Dominance. All right, so one thing this really reminds me of, and another phenomenon I was telling everybody about, and there's charts in our Discord on this, is during 2017 we had so many 20% pullbacks. And here's the thing, there's a lot of people in crypto right now that bought here, right? That bought, you know, over Bitcoin over 12K or over 7K, and they didn't ride it. They didn't ride it with us from $1,000 or, you know, 1,200, right? So on these moves up, we always saw these big 20% corrections, 30% corrections that were still bullish. What just happened? So we saw a lot of 20% corrections on the way up that were still bullish. And what happened during those 20% corrections, there was several scenarios. I'm trying to pull them up on the chart. Here we go. So I think it was like 20 of these over the course of 2017. So 30% drop, probably another 30%, 19. There was all these drops. And what this reminds me of, you know, when I was saying, guys, you're going to see a 20% correction, people thought I was crazy. People thought I was like stupid. I was just a perma bear. That I wanted to counter trade the trend, which I was, but for good reason, right? We had our gravity indicator saying we're gonna come down, and two, Bitcoin does these corrections. This is 2017, guys. This is June. This is August. This is still August. You know, two of them in August, right? This big, maybe like 45% correction in September. So during a bull market, we can have a lot of these pullbacks and remain bullish. As for Bitcoin dominance, I was talking to an associate today. I think alts are going to rally over the weekend. Not all of them, but I think BTC dominance is kind of going to be quelled. I'm going to pull up that chart right now. But during these corrections, if I remember them correctly, some of them, we'd have this drop like on a Thursday, and Bitcoin would go sideways and alts would range. I'm talking like you could maybe scalp them on the stochastic RSI trade at just range trading alts. But you know, it looks like dominance reached its top, right? And now it's doing this just like the BTC formation, and I think it's gonna head back down, right? We're seeing this bearish pennant on dominance. So alts are definitely regaining power, regaining their steam. You know, one altcoin of interest, which has always been a hedge against Bitcoin, was BNB, and we signaled BNB yesterday because if BTC is gonna pull back hard, BNB is gonna rally hard, and we're seeing like some of the IEOs like FET, Seller, what's the other one, Matic, just make like Matic went on a rager. So we're gonna see alts rally. Let me go back to the daily chart on BTC dominance. We kind of established that range to see what's gonna happen. So if we're seeing a breaking triangle here, and look at that, I mean, this looks like a rising wedge, right? People were expecting 10K by the end of the week, which is absolutely ludicrous for Bitcoin. And yeah, so there's a bit of a wedge here. I think it's going to be alt season for a little bit. I think it's going to take a while to get back up over 82. I don't know how long a while is. If it does it over the weekend, it's going to come back down. It just is. What else? So we've seen, you know, these rising wedges here. This one broke up to the upside, broke back down. There's this triangle. So I'd expect some distribution in altcoins. Pedro, what's up, my man? Is it safe to start putting in buy limits on BTC? So Delilah, you know, I called the bottom at 38.55. I published on it. We've got the BTFD indicator, right? I mean, there's a lot of FOMO, a lot of bullish herd mentality that was absolute avoid, and you're shorted. Yeah, you know, is it safe to come back in? I think it is. I also think we're gonna come back down and retest like maybe 6K before going back up. Especially when you get news like backs in July and people think it's gonna go all the way up until July. Like that's mind blowing. I think, you know, a move down or retest the yearly lows of last year is highly likely, right? So I mean, if I'm gonna deploy fiat, I'd put it in here, or if I wanted to enter the market, I'd be going into ETH right now. I don't think ETH broke the downtrend or the uptrend. Let's go to ETHUSD Coinbase. Maybe the 60. So I had posted on ETH, even on our Twitter, saying I think it was up here. Yeah, we're still at like no, it was over here. I said, hey guys, this thing is gonna break up and hit 258, and it went all the way up to 280. I think ETH is upholding its trend a lot better than BTC, and ETH broke out of the downtrend sooner than BTC did. And in terms of USD gains, it's still more bullish, right? It really upheld this trend on the pullback. And
You've been bullish on ETH for a while.
What's up? I've been shilling ETH for so long, man. In terms of
Yeah.
USD gains from the yearly low, it's up so much more, and the Ether futures are coming this year. So, I mean, I can expect ETH to go up. I think my next target on ETH, based on what BTC did and based on our market cycles, it's in the 330 for my next target, and I can validate that. Let me go in here.
Here's a question.
What's up?
So what about ETH BTC? You're gonna do
ETHUSD. If ETHUSD is gonna rally harder than BTC USD, then I expect ETHUSD to make some gains, as well. Over, let's go ahead and put. Why is this happening? Okay, let's go on the daily chart. And ETHUSD. Bitfinex. And which one is this? 720 should be in white. So, all right, if you look at this white line, which is market cycles, moving averages, I have an Ether target of like 376, right? And that's off like ETHUSD. And people ask me about market cycles, moving averages. If we hold this line, if we hold this red MA and we keep going up, then ETH is very much likely to go up to the next target. And if you look at the BTC USD chart, we definitely, I think we surpassed that target by a mile. Let's go to like maybe XBT. No, let's go to, where is it? Oh, it's showing not available. Bitfinex, GDAX. Right, so in terms of market cycles, we can see that BTC hit that target and it just kept going up, right? And it hit that, the red line, rejected once, circled back around and went up to the white. So I think ETH is just now lagging behind. And then back to that, the trend line, ETH upheld 2 trend lines while BTC is struggling currently with this one. So Delilah, I would be more inclined to pick up ETH right now, just because of what's happening with trend lines and bullishness. So here's one trend line, here's this other trend line that we absolutely are under. Remove all indicators. I got them on trading view. 60 XB2 USD. Any other questions from you, Kevin?
No, man, just kind of watching for what's going to happen next. You answered all my stuff about the market cycles. We covered the indicators, why we shorted. How much more often are we going to be in voice chat? Last night was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, voice chat yesterday was on fire. We actually invited everybody in our Discord, and we were all on microphones. We did a turn-by-turn navigation. Thanks, Pedro. Appreciate you, man. You try. What about LTC? What are the odds of another gravity gap on YouTube? I think another gravity gap, they're gonna happen. These are like the best market moves to long, short, and leverage trade, right? I mean, unless there's a clear formation, don't do it. Trade the trend, find a good entry, but these gaps are intense. Litecoin, LTC, USD. I usually stay away from LTC just because I don't have a good history of trading it, and I'll admit that. LTC looks like it broke the trend line too. And once again, Ether's always been like the late bloomer. because if you remember 2018 when BTC started diving, Ether went to like the all-time highs as BTC was selling off. So yeah, Litecoin, you know, I just use basic trend lines right now for accumulation. I would wait till it hits 79. There's no rush. I mean, this looks like could be just a bear flag and bearish continuation. What about our market cycles? Well, let me go ahead and just add some MAs and see what's happening on the daily. And so Litecoin went up. This would be the equivalent of my white line, right? Where I saw it said it's 300 on Ether and where BTC broke above. It's actually above it right now. So long term, it's still bullish, LTC USD. But when we're trading a cycle, we want to buy the one that's lagging in the cycle, not the one that's later in the cycle. It's like kind of like trading alts, right? You buy an altcoin, and when it goes up, you sell it. You buy one that hasn't quote unquote pumped, right? We don't want to buy these tops. We want to buy them all the way up to the top. Yeah. What else we got?
Anybody else got any other questions?
I think that's it. You guys on Facebook, did I miss someone? Thank you, FB, for those watching on YouTube now. XLM US, somebody wants me to do a Lumens USD chart. So Lumens just went through capitulation. I am holding a pretty big Lumens bag. I'm holding a fairly big Lumen bag on Bittrex. Here's what happened with Lumen, right? I mean, we did these XLM USD. I'm gonna cover XLM BTC. I don't trade crypto to make USD. I make crypto to increase BTC holdings and ETH holdings. So we see a chart that just did this, right? It went up, maintained this really strong range for a while, and then all of a sudden just broke down into this capitulation zone. I think Lumens is ready for a rally. I think now Lumens is more than ever terminally bullish, because there's absolutely no reason for it to break support. This is one of the strongest coins on the market, right? IBM is running on this coin. This is one of the strongest fundamental coins that's been here forever. There was no reason to see this drop. So I really think Lumens is bound to go up. I mean, it's had more adoption than a lot of whatever coins you were bullish on in 2017, like your NEO bags, your OMG bags. Guess what? Lumens surpassed all of those in terms of adoption, in terms of performance over the bear market. So I'm a big fan of Lumens. Signaled bat today. Well, guys, we kind of wanted to do a market recap, not essentially do a power hour. That wasn't the intentions. We'll do one of those soon. Kevin, you want to wrap it up? You got something to say, man?
Yeah, Saber, thanks for your time, man. Thanks for last night. All the calls you've been doing have been great. I know you're, and I wanted to share the gravity indicator mostly with everybody and kind of pick your brain on a couple of things, and you answered all of them and gave me one-on-one lessons. So thank you so much for that. I'm glad we get to share that with everybody. I hope we really get to do a lot more of these live streams, or not live, well, these live streams and the live trades in the Discord. I really want to get into those a lot more. So if anybody wants to join us with those, I think we're going to try to start doing them nightly, daily.
So, I mean, yeah,
we'll put some links
about those. You know, yesterday when the correction started, I got up on I did a play-by-play on several Facebook crypto groups. I posted my chart and my short entry and where I longed, where I shorted, where we ended up, and where my targets were. And I was like, we got to do a turn-by-turn navigation. So we invited everybody in our Discord, open up the voice channel, made all our trades public, letting everybody know what we were doing in real time to trade this correction. So one thing I'm going to do is when volatility picks up, like we saw, I'm going to let everybody know what we're doing, especially when I'm expecting a 20% pullback, a flash crash, a flash dump. we're gonna be doing a lot more of that when volatility's up, because when it's not volatile, you can just sit there on the microphone and not say anything. There's no charts, there's nothing to do or say. But when volatility's up, it's really exciting. And so if you guys are not on our Discord, just go ahead and join, and we'll tag you. Like we did like 7-8 tags announcements yesterday saying, hey, get on the mics if you want to make some money. This shit's fucking moving. Excuse me, it's really exciting. And we were up till I was up till about 7 a.m. today trading. I've been up till 7 a.m. every day just because the volatility is so late. But we want to capture that and not go to sleep and miss a 20% move.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. I've got to go. The fam's waiting for me, so I will. Thank you so much, guys. Trade safe.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thank you all for tuning into the stream. We'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to hop on our Discord and trade some volatility with us. Stay safe, profit take, and hedge. See ya.